ensi ya Ukraine wose ensi ya America ne ya Israeli nigo chigandate gusagana ensi ya Iran atyo karabona gabaraya banga barende bensi ya Iran banyaka bagosiria amagimabo kurende onsi kianda Egeikaro ne Egeikaro litkolia lero na serero tiganja kiro yoranga na inche kwa head of state commendation then serieki karibu mwako yongo lengi mono litango yesa kwa kireta
thank you mwako
you want to the happy new year
happy new year, happy new month, so far so good. Biamano also go to host for this new year and what it's a new month March actually. Esa meliende tali ko Rwanda serikali ko rokunga serikali eganyere ile bono
alternative government
alternative government your position alternative government united alternative government biamano will be able to share a lot ko chingutu bantu baito emburane nyinge aginaenda twanyora an opportunity yo gocha gusanga na bantu baito Egeikaro biamano
sam
Notorioka, but I think last week narengo sengenchonale ngare kidogo na tinyari kubaingo ikirana Egeikaro kwa sababu stari kuyebugika kurendete yankwani mugusiando nsiasura semara kwa yabono karibu sana Egeikaro akiranya kwa togo sanga madio sino nganchere na inchento mengora yani bega tie abakenya bali batomengora kuchya gusiria kwa Johana Ngeno uyu usireti obugima bwari tukuregora kubatukana na ajaye liendega na nchina atumire on my own behalf kuchya se familia ya Johana na wega abantu ba murwa dikir asogosiye mu jumbo
bwe wanakige maso gochakira Dennis Egeikaro yaba entambe sana na nengo lengi ngwaro rekana tasegetika kabiri katatoiga igo bono nabo bwat first hand information esoko to gose chindo lio karaga niko catch up inkyora nyako kwa generally observation ya igoro yetaro ya alternative government
biamono morali Ototo ya ingiri alternative government ase amatuka mange amachiko bango mwaka oyomo I think the last time Matiangi achete kusi maito se alengo Mutienyo kane o gatano sitabu last year abantu mbaro kanete bakobolinga ikibono kegenderret ibirenge bikamachikoro kana bire contrary abantu bagatebanga no molero bwa masaku olenge ngiyeke confusion yakamachikoba lakini tende united opposition unakwanyoro karagi wane korunga alternative government serikali yakanyere
alternative
bakabanga enchera bagoje tripwe gocha ere much more organized and ere bit advanced learning lessons korumoino buneli ntangani yabet ekarokana nere well planned and executed Tado konyolinga agete no constituency in Kisii County bata chete chance be within those 3 days.
Chance be
communist nende aka ega kuna kere kona. Nonye bali wakagete nga ujumbe teko baikera banye ikeret. We are happy nga getaseni kino kia getembe kia bete ke koleta mangana ya live. Na abantu baito bagabako bugati. That was the most successful rally ya bete ya alternative government. A message ya sogete ya renge very clear. Ndate ko tabanga amatuka aliata toka ujumbe nja sogete nga kumbe Matiangi na banjire. Even a few of us tore bit closer na organizers be merobelielia ya rokanete nga bono ya exceed the expectations. We never expected ke ndege sakwe ya chi
iga
E1
tali ngore elia bantu baba batanga ibi konyara imbu
ya chete exceed expectations elien tangani out of that casualties in babo across board ondo ta lenge na Matiangi na benyola ngojitolikoligerelia kira gini quick ones nelinga ogo tachabata chete ondo ta chiete korokananga na lenga we got report immediately I was absent with apology
and igo for starters objectives chance chetare dinjanya kwa chiko ikirani
nende chika I mean some of the objectives came because team nere ya bangetu etene niye nganeye bachi etiko nyara no molindo otenene para amariba akorogoro onyatanga no koboko ayo oragenda amariba ayo aratirimbo
sababu na yengo arenge pa fachu nga no murali oro active might go say nda kwa neba offensive go jese the state competition kwanza jora tuma to rusa jora no nda tebo active na mine tinga active ese media uso kole mega ase gwende ayengo arengo asuketake go jamangana corporate man we all the other on the ground igora nyako kwa na generally igoro yetariga I believe nga kwa yebwate pit by pit
mbia mono sana ase riba kana indo Ototo. Actually, I was present. I was ever present as a Chirali nearly all the days and every rally where they were. It happened by chance. And I want to go to see Dennis Benata Banga. It exceeded the expectations. Like enchiranera bantu ba semerating and akerali nichikoba. And it indeed exceeded the expectation kwa sababu umaita in politics you cannot talk about politics and minus numbers. What people wanted to know ngaki abantu bachire biiti mbarengo abarenga se gesiasa birengere byabo maybe bitari kubwatana na opposition, the United Alternative Opposition, lakini mbarengo and the people came. They tried kuenda constituency chonsi from Nyamira, the 4 Nyamira constituencies na Kisii na Boigo. It really showed maybe for me kirukanga nkire presidential it was a presidential meeting that abantu mbachete numbers and buna abantu abange bagoteba mbarusete matianyo bosuku singe njombe sogete maybe chibura buruntu chikwanere badaye kolende. The message was at home. People got the message and indeed much as there are some who are criticizing a message ya rengo but maybe badai, lakini the message was at home. At least Egeikaro kinga omugusi bono na retire na ando anchirenga nechikobanga umwanobo. It was not all about abagusi. It was all about how prepared were they as oko support Matiangi. You remember Matiangi na chitebweka. And the reception was good. I think it was just a day. Agachaga Kisii Kisii Stadium. Karacha Kisii Stadium. Karacha koru from Nairobi. But the final stop was at Kisii Stadium. Ntu arocho mubaro umonge bw'abantu bagocho. The same that happened again. That despite the Kisii Stadium, even the counties of Nyamira and the constituencies and Kisii, Bachete, every place, Nebarende, South Mogrango, Maseseni and Borachete. But at the end of the day, Mbata Chete Kerase during that rally. And for me, I can say they really achieved beyond expectations in terms of numbers. Yes.
Bueno, in summary, totally gochese Dennis. In summary, a message ya lenge ase nsamega ya alternative government. Itwanya tonale United Opposition. Lakini mwanyi lukira alternative ba yengo asira bari kwa alternative opposition niko senga kiko chipino. Ikatra na tuenzi mwana tokonya kwegiranya. A message nere ya jete kurua ase team ye gochesa abantu borgongo rwa usi. Iyo takire ebe clear gochesa bana injiga buya ningi bachete gukora gusi. Arabu ne message nere bayireta kuru gusi. Echibere. Bona Egeikaro kweresera briefly gocheso mwana inchi inkiora nyare ko bago gosaya inki kwanya to ko bago piki kurwaro as far as messaging is concerned.
You remember the first stop igo yarenge mukutano munene Kerenyo. I was there and the first function was the first thing giakorekanete. It was installing Moske Fred Matiangi as a Kisii kingpin. Na romono garinga montonde bwensi morayonde bwensi utagete go kwana ya ukona through Matiangi. You know, I think it was just a moment of clearing the anger. Governor wa county ya Kisii Moske Paul Simbarati mote balinga nere no mono gariare bumugusi lakini yargo chiari sensemo ya serikali. So the first thing that happened in Kerenyo was to install Fred Matiangi, the official spokesperson. That was the first thing. So again, the message that was passed in Kerenyo with that function, we are ringinga oyonere oyogotena. Koruabu agasaba when the leaders stood gokwana igobara batebanga mwatuancheire tokore na Fred Matiangi egasi meaning that it was like a moment of release Matiang'i kurwa soro kurwa gusinga bono twagwanje naba gusinga bono bamwancheire kugenda gukore gasi with the other leaders. And then the other message that was picked from there, I think the masses that came to ema tembra ya chage to mambi imbra netwet lakini ya happening abantu bagacha. So the message that was sent, it is from us abana engineering, we are ready in support, you know. When the multitude abantu bari buna barengari and they witnessed Fred Matiang'i kwarre bon the message that was sent across Kisii oyonero umonogeri gumogusi. And then the message that was picked gochia say abantu bande totebenga, I think Gachagua and the other team ya United Alternative Government iko bachi koranga how prepared is Fred Matiang'i in terms of abantu kerbagocha and the organization. Abantu bagacha, the reception was good. The people came despite embroidery tukeri yaba bayamach korokana. Abantu bagacha asobonge and you could see the confession from the leaders that kagreting abantu mbabenchireli mpaka they had to congratulate maybe the leadership of Fred Matiang'i through abantu bande bari ba organized to you having and Dennis was part of them. To clarify which party plays. So the message that was taken nabara yabande na baba Gachagua, Kalonzo, Eugene and others neringa, it is indeed presidential and Omogusi is ready to be part of abarai bari bago chikurwanira obarai wense wetara Matiang'i
ansema ya oda ni sia karo message bona karo tokuligere bona gotama kuligere message from where you sit.
Two things. Number one, there was a narrative ya lenge isikaiganga omonto kokwanira ba Gusii in general. Tizaido Osoro was a governor Simba. That one was something ba chete kora pimanki kere. If you are aware, Governor Simba sometimes back declared
2018 I think
2018 declared himself ngana atagete kwa ba monogel. And agata monogel imbo gwake rukura. But as you may remember, tina roche baga kabege saku bago mo endos bago wekera mayo ali na binto binde. There's a way yoko taken through rituals and other things. Osoro has also been perceived gokwanera Omogusi goetera echama ya UDA and by extension bunale a majority whip takes it in a automatic in an area monogel. With all that rumor around na binto binde biara kogendera egabidirende Omogusi wetere kiombekia Council of Elders kekora unaraka matundra but confirming indeed no go taita kwa monogeli there is a process yogo etiwa bagaka bagwanchere na binto binde before abageni baanze konchukana na Gusiengima. That was symbolizing a lot of things. One, a community ya kwanchire nende ya kwendo siringa ento bwa aspirations go chimotura gini before tara akora kende genda procedure buna yabe ile gakoba. Like another position yora dageko boli Ototo go sesam se inalia go ikora alia bagaka bakotuga bako wasia omanya go sok. No to ko banyora na boko liye family ya ino ondo ngamona naiga oago no ane litimo de ngabona katwaniaka twagaselira bono soka go chiali. It symbolizes a lot. Bono buno Omogusi bagataka kobeke message yora agenda nga into tuamuire. Ega form the basis bono yogo nchaka na Gusii. That was number one. Go dispute manganade na binto binde. Within the rallies you could hear naboko yugu Rigati Gachagua gatebanga Omogusi rero mambia gose igoro gose moisonde na ncheta gatebanga bono kende gions ki Omogusi geko irwa asemesa yobo gambi goetera Dr. Fred Matiang'i. That was a strong message. Nabo igere bo ikoyo na chinyomba chinde chionsipi na babere bagokorega. So that one was to declare a position ye bono no ye konyekero officially bono ya chira ase monto ket. Number 2 muna ya betenga kianja. Number 2, a message nere united opposition then now alternative government before batara amwanga tuabeire in a position yogo chagusi ba bwate aba manyotenga Dr. Fred Matiang'i has been doing meetings jikoro kunga strategic meetings tingo jiroka boardroom meetings because they are equally meetings jiko inform kigeka bagochiali key strategic meetings itaiko soka in the public no taka consult ya manto go ikokole mekutano gete omanya no Ototo koleta mumanya ko soka omanya ko anderali the way you can do a bit mumanya ko soka e message yabete ke kobanga matiangi obeire ngora kosoka acha umere abantu so lende bakata komanyanga buna atara umera abantu sikoga tigabono togenda nere bagaika bakanyoranga kumbe emekutane yabere gokorwa yaletira matunda and you can agree with me the places ba minyogete the crowd were the crowd abanta bale kucha kwa wingi those were massive crowds nende for your information bale wakanu
Yes.
omokutano umuthangani obete keroka after okoewa egutwa yobonogeri goru ekarenyo igo obete omonene baka rigiji agatenena egari gorakabori nga uwi na omwachire kotena igungo itumwarengega moigo cha gokora gento buneke then ekari message yansete goikanga keroka babeira abantu bangana iga capital roundabout number y'abantu barabali bange mono messages zigansa gojanga gende stadium what was that communicating in number ne nyinge y'abantu bagocha and truth be told abantu nabachete stadium na iwete kose yasiye gitu sike kiabet abana injirende wengi wape bakagenda none carpet bakaliya se bali geti konchi bakanyebeka asetanya kopeko bakanyebeke right on the highway abaganende baje basoera so message ne linga matiangi nabwate omogusi omonge as followers going with those crowds monto tayo kobolyo bwa MCA the kebroga kapio bwa MCA obo jumbe obo governor otabe na matiangi moving forward munoko ba contrary you'll be in trouble because of those huge crowds, huge numbers. I can confirm not even a shilling ya to make to mobilize mokutano maybe abantu ba contribute to mobilize media houses bali mu abegete message ka sync so fast and so well and then people were following you could agree the kind of messaging mo alako kora live streaming ya alako gando all over I mean people were spoiled for getting options you could go maybe account ya Matiang'i ya Rigiji ya Kalonzo ya even some individual media individual journalists were also streaming live aseng encho again take one kiaberekia like those 3 days literally chiabete holiday yomosi
so what I was just trying to remember before Kerenyo, by the way, I don't know whether you are aware Rigijimba kolete mekutane 3 before Badarika Gusi Bomet in Molot they also did in Sotik and I didn't know whether you realized there were numbers. They got numbers. I think what does it think to want Walibare sense my record that is the in each stronghold the Chomra even almost Dr. William Ruto that abantomba and the funny thing na jete ko realizing killing Rigiji could tell people get a camera and you could even say arambe one time the same people so it also sent a messaging as they were coming to Kisii, on the en route to Kisii, they got people, and I think the message was sent to the government. Egeikaro, strong base, and he had a narrative that you could resonate with by the Nana Bawaranga and Kumachiringa. Inuba Moraibi and so by Krekando, Bonegama, I think Agana Bagosibi, or by Bire, the Taiko Bakan, and Nava Jumbe, Keromonto, Lego, or Cholide, Tarina Inu. In fact, they were no Moraibans, like in Jabon and Chile. When a spokesperson, that was the language he was passing, and it was even resonating. And
message in that Sam Nelinga, by the way, did it very honest. Again, Tonkyo Egeikaro kunga opposition ya bantu bago support opposition na bantu bago support government. The truth is, balibagos have the executive.
Yes.
Now we're in the government and they are serving Omonanchi. Yes. The rest, Omonanchi na aba Bomet na aba was in Gishu is still in the Masi Yokonyora the service.
Yeah,
so long as you're for service, your service, you are as good as opposition because you are there. Egeikaro serve. The weather service providers and the service recipients.
Yes.
But service. But service, you are deemed to be in the opposition because no service you are in trouble because you are a taxpayer. Any taxpayer you demand your service you consider yourself being in the opposition. So Ekero omwananchi obomet au mieta konyoranga au singelevi ya moromire bintogethe vya moromire is as good as one time. Actually some of them could be worse because na wakwe but that was the message Rigiji alikuwa bataving some of you could be thinking your brother is in bar office, but the truth is your brother got office ora nyanyasu mono. Obo maene bolinga chi inde chi atogete Mount Kenya mono, chi abo Mathio and wherever those places than these other places. Luo Nyanza you yarenge deemed to be in the opposition, igebu ata magenda rogeto ora be able to count than these other places wago danga nesrekari. So the truth is a problem weye igekune to mwananchi bwens. No genda moyale, no genda Kaniti, Marimanti, you will be able to tell abantu mbara bataranyora service. So tigege ndenga talia abantu bande mbara opposition because batabuaji omudo muabo or in government kosare PS kosare a minister. But the truth is Kenyans majority actually 99% they are in the opposition because they are waiting for services. In the event service yeta yo a message ile korunga wanta mwe ko ba chorus
igo ndasi monto kwa nyale service ile ora nyala ko kore
yanda na jora da serikali ngoto koji
equally se message e ko contradiction ko gojeria rukumono kurwa as abarai number 1 ekato godire na mangana korukuga numbers go se misangerkano munabono ekara bantu orange osoke sikali orangeria abantu bacha bange se function yabo naboko of course it's good to assume ngaba abanaba support bao gosina babwatani bao gose naye bale naye lakini na mambiende yo opponent ka gocha naye basoka bange naye assume ugo narrative yera ngaki ekoba ngaki yare koligera liku because munabona I think a few days or weeks from now muraibu nsango jale gusi naye isi gotoka ngabanta abasokira bange does it meaning abona abasokete sematiangi nabangao aho chikosoke so muske ese ruto nabangao gose ikironga ke kunyara kapake koriyo egento kendi kabire contradiction ende korugo se chikwana cha bara inega for example kenga umuraibu ensekra bete gose Uhuru Kenyatta gose Kibaki gocha na Kenyatta chinsambu chenja togete ngati tegete maiga Rift Valley atogere ngati tegete baga ni one way or the other Ruo Nyanza atwala opposition netiga ya nyole ngane bwata mangandira mangi eketekiriko chika contradiction nanenga ngai go terras motabera serikali mutura chandeke mono igo mbuya tabera opposition message yera ngakone ngakira so kiria linga ki okobera goite siko ya serikali tari benefit kusokobera goite serikali tari benefit
in mature democracies actually ntaiteko teba obo maana mbolinga National Assembly bunere ntobu ati opposition ntobu ati government
tobu ati
minority na majority. What does that one tell you? Whether you are in the minority or you are in the majority, you are also serving a position yekorukunga national member of parliament in the National Assembly. You legislate, you represent and oversight. So to ikoge and oversight kendo yekorunga selectively. You don't cherry pick ngomo waziri nale ngokolia ngobolia maswali ngokolia oversight abandentike. So generally ekarole in the National Assembly you should be able to legislate or represent with that national outlook. Ekina kitogo chitueva toma akaranga a position yeyengeire bune cabinet minister inda kerensa abo abantu baito. Those are now, I mean, we are growing democracies, but the truth is in other places, in other developed countries obora yekaroko bokora. Actually, if you don't balance, it is a good reason you impeached because one of those virtues, governance, you should be able to balance. You should be able to do with a lot of equity and equality. The problem and our people now and as far as by the way, we make it more worse sometimes. Omonda ago ikaliji campaign jiro tabegunga tosera wango wange gente ko koira okonye bwe konye na moka ona bana ba. That is the tragedy. Bono lende with that in mind and in our society biranga na biko machikoba, it is very rare konyora abantu balengera chinga a message yenga omondo na bomorai akonye a constituency ya go say Kenya ngimata that go to aro wanchereri konde. It is very rare and it's a narrative ya very for quite some time, but the truth is moving forward the best way you can do it ekaroto bwada bajumbe bako koregas in the National Assembly. They go beyond the sobasebakoro, they represent the entire National Assembly. Lakini rende kemwanya bantu bunakere which is also distorted mind and corruption yere nyingi. People will want to say kiabu wanenga ikire. You should be careful ekaro a debate here. They begin so well. This is a national issue. It is a matter of national interest. However, even in my school, that is how we should be able to begin. But in the National Assembly, you get the attention of the eye of the speaker, which is quite unfortunate. So it is so skewed, it's quite unfortunate. Lakini bochimotua we are hopeful abarai baito. Mature enough, but even the young generation of members of parliament, the national outlook.
Yes.
Look at the examples of Sifuna.
Yeah.
Sifuna gets the traction of the nation because of the things he appears to be doing.
Nationally.
One, Sifuna doesn't know Chikabira irenga chiko mwakera ekura Nairobi akara kwa moseneta, but he thinks inga Kenya ngima no here Nairobi. Lakini Sifuna omorushi omoire Bungoma, there is a language yara kwanda. But Sifuna in Nairobi, Babo Wino in Nairobi, there is a language bago kuane komajiko resonate so well in the entire nation, and that's why you see them baro kane babu ate umaarufu kwa sababu attract abantu the entire nation. If that is the way, ebindo bitakeire bibe na betakeire omonto rapia to be a nationalist, so that you attract the numbers here. And that one was the major reason Raila that national outlook and then our people should be able to learn about how far you can go self-interest, interest yase kando go fight for the entire nation. Number two, two things will happen. This is competition, my brother.
Yes.
Everybody expected without getting payment. Opposition team, which is now the incoming opposition, which is in the government, locally, alternative opposition, led by Osora and the rest. They know what to do. Numbers the challenge. So the best we can do
consolidate
the resources into the office into the they will struggle to get those numbers, and then of course they're also trying to discredit the numbers. 50-60 I saw them struggling. Team ya United incoming opposition. Go struggle But the truth is, when those numbers, the real numbers came, so the end being a competition, and there's a difference between abantu goteunga incho mo facilitate mo no mukutano na abantu gocho mukutano ba kuereta kwe yari yao
organic
ere movement neye korokunga a facilitated movement so lende bali babwate bese no bago tabanda bago ngantike bindo byana kokora chakora abantu bago yumeshara bale serikali.
So I think Orioki has elaborated it well. The argument Orioki, even those people in the government before they resume their journey, almost Kosoro, there's a clip that was going abungo chabale mbariko bakende bakolera moja alimbasara perception when you are in government indeed no what chibes cha facilitation. So what you asked about the crowd gego chawo keligia chita semati yangi na keligo chawo cha soma ebense, let me tell you kero monto ngo charne papas ya monto na ro gocha achakora no na barai lakini asen kore I maybe ngo terare one time monto na ro gocha with an expectation ninga karori me government you have money, you have resources igongo to serore. That is the perception. Are you saying bono monto cha koliebes na ndo botaka boli usiamba abantu mbarenga people are a lot, and when you hear abantu ko bali chibesa gabu you will always come. So the people abantu bagocha se crowd kiomoske William Ruto and being the president I think you can go anywhere and the people come with an expectation inga na babara nyore kende through the aba jumbe and others. So in chenko rang a crowd the government nkere kind of a perception kwa sabantu bali bakobe kobongo bwa bimenga nkwe gutore kende. That's why karaba ruro batanyore tikende And that is how abarai ba rokan go support that thing through nain kero mo raiben sarali ka koruo mugavana ga kwirana ngoserara ban. So it means that
the question and anya tukabake kababona seme tandao na elinga nchira kibono go transfer these multitudes babe into votes.
So ngokorera sense me ine linga ki a crowd kiamati kind of abantu but they have seemed to own their umwanogo because kero muntu nabwate mutu yetu. I'm telling you, it is a fact. Genda no Rift Valley, people will tell you about William Ruto. Genda go say totebe in the Western, people will tell you about maybe Natembea and others and other kingpins and every place. So it seems like omogusi or Obergako on Fred Matiang. That's why maybe masses chigocha. And then Jorangari, I think this is the first time I see na Getekaro deputy president. There are people who went to specifically Hanokora Religio Baba Kalons, of course, Bachire, Mata Karua Bachire, and others. I can tell you there are hundreds of people who came to look at the region.
No, Abandon Balabata wrote Matiangiri at the stadium. By weather, some wanted to see him. I mean, never carrying it again to Kende. By Rigi, over in the headlines. Someone, there was someone or in Tuta, Moja Korangaki, Omondongo Maraga, one TV. They wrote the Angong and Endraga Koraki, Kaguan. Mongwana John Metu. Mondorima is unique. And Enjrai took it to Kian, wherever he calls himself the son of Mama. I think he's a young Mama living. But there are people who came to sing Amane to Kiria. So everybody came with that. Enjrai, the biggest number came to look at their own son from the soil. I don't think, and we have said this thing for a long time. As sense Kenya, we don't need to see Tebanga. This place serves as an opposition to the budget is done from the parliament, the budget process. And wananchi abangu wakana tax. That is number one. Keromo jumbe. Be it your children independent, ukachorone kia magia serikali, ukachorona whichever ODM, mkwegwole CDF money, NGCDF, choko kora magendra. When we go to the county allocation, county teya watabunga bona you are serving the opposition, you are serving the government tokweje. Kere counting kwegwere besa yamagenda.
But on the same Sam, ngolengi there's a reason totabe president wa serikali bwa latitude yo kuamua some tumasune kisaka tufoda sira go kisaka to decisions.
Lakini jire chinke
tika senji bachinke kekora akara okoligeria se anyane budget you can help me to answer sebano kurwa kurwa from the side of muna parali ese budget ya Kenya kero koligerirwa chibe sokonyo achiko bakilia ngai chichiko enda segete na segete chire kilia chire ngai chichiko enda CDF we chichende si county kocha ngete njiko ka 60%. There's 40% of the budget in the hands of the president, in the hands of the executive. Na chijingo tabingo kola ngi jacinta kwa mocha tangaki na abaire suneka na abaire chiro da jambi. So jigo be ko garoto.
I don't think I want to differ with Yanda So what I'm saying Ototo, honestly, and I've been differing, I didn't go differ and go differ now because now I want much right kwende.
But if I ever got Dennis.
No, didn't I differ Dennis. That issue. What I'm saying, despite the fact thing, abantu bari bako and state house ko yamagendro. It's okay. Lakini amagendro, we know the budget process. I know morally. The budget process, and I'm lucky by the way, you are the one who read na was some news during the financial year. I think budget ya chiteko also. A budget kere constituency kwa budget kere counting kwa budget ayonyo kwa opposition anyo kwa nyore budget. Why can't you do again? Because that one you have no option as a president. Iyo executive of course narrow, lakini you have no option as a governor, as an MP. 100 million each year per financial year kwa kore bintu bibante kwa kana CDF. Why can't you do it? Because it thing anu. Number two, if you are a president of a Republic of Kenya, for example, for instance William Ruto, in you go to 40% you selecting Okoa, and yet these are Kenyans who pay. When we pay taxes, there is no way at all na tu atebanga ngabona njitini ko support serikali hiyo tindi kwa kana taxes oyongo support ya So I want to differ. The process of budget making is done in the government, in the parliament.
Shed light. There is no government coffers into use without being put into budget.
Yes.
And that budget is prepared by National Assembly. Those budget proposals, of course, they'll come and they'll be looked into. National Assembly, there is a committee in charge of budget.
Yeah.
They will go into every aspect of budget. Banye legally, banye verification, but my approve. So a Kyobe get 40% on the national government, by the way, it comes in form of ministries. And those ministries, members of parliament, they are select committees, charged with oversight.
Standing committees.
Standing committees, oversight. Resources well utilized. And that is why over the Guanyora scandals in Chigot. Then at one point a supplementary budget. Wanyoranga a budget was 10 billion under State House because of those things skewed development chiko irwa segete. Kwanya budget ya tumekiru abantu gete barangere go senel for musini by facilitation reimbursement bintu binde egento kiabe kere kiare go kora kianga go koro. Koligi asabago cushion that budget from yaba corruption itself. So the truth is Ototo gereto tu arabantu bakoro National Assembly members of Parliament bago kora real oversight. Na binte bikoro kunga loopholes and pitfalls choko bisa chibese ebiko sieko kentonge ko chikote ya bantu nga njabono nda serikali nda ta magendo ta yokole ta no atali budget. That is what konyora chi project chiko cha store. A president ya promise ringa erami ninchembeke a lot of money. Kwa nyoranga e budget yeli njalenge njabege tumapema. Yama go stall but eventually ya fix go ya rutu aseget. Ngo wol babo soro bago jabata banga e para gete naro chijo mochumbe geto le waswasi ga na nyeruseti.
Bede gore bangana e para I can give an example. I can generate nga e para nere koruse ito ya korunya cheki go chamache e para ye karo nyumantara iboru. Nigo munanja getu ko ngainia ko manyang ndo bidan ko tenga pare ya be getu 5 years ago motre ko ngangoro asugere lakini ya rasutiku 2 years ago that is 30 years later.
That's it. So bona gendo na kieki e kyogo da ngango nyorora magandro ko na wa promise ku nga magandro ngo cha
the narrative of kama by the let me remind you
kama na kuo kuno ko ngaino by the those are political statements I got to be very honest and the truth is if you're in the National Assembly no ko romo jumbe egendo kya geti e budget ngako so e budget bona ora batoko tu ware conversation because in keliko chikorusiwo the process yokorusia e para ku abegire budget na bebwe kaine yoko ngainwa kose kuanza the whole process yoko beka because it is so difficult na benga ko detail budget was a go edit budget you saw what happens to Kisii County Assembly ekare budget ya majetiko ba altered
bakataira di mo
kaira na nende gansa so it is not that easy but the best we can do civic education neta kaira kwa bantu baito bataunga oyungo tongaina and our people
magendro
abantu baito bansire komanyanga aigento ngero to tabi ko tongaina ole ayole to democrat egento ngero wakwana nta leta kinta to karet to bata ngento ko rukunga taxation without representation. Unfortunately, Mojumbo Korogwa Kibagandi, igare suspended from National Assembly. For grounds, it talk around nchi yoichire flimsy grounds. Abantu baki tutu charges out, assuming ne budget yare go etiku. Omo akanye bango, omo rubango, omo nachubango korukitutu charges out. Nanche anachwe bango umojumbo yo como represent yatai
honestly.
So the truth is abantu kosaba akanie bango kurukitutu charges out they have every right yo gotarwe tax because we cannot you cannot tax us totabuga representation ekigio kaka nalao umojumbe kibaga ndira na straight to National Assembly despite the other discipline and other things we go through. So essentially what we are saying kende gionzi geo koruna serikali eliso lyo mwananchi goso omwakwe bango se no morubango omo na chubango na atake irabe part and parcel a voice ya heruwa.
That is it.
By the way, to make it even more worse ngota katole opinion ya kero mojumbe whether you are in support or you are not, that is why voting is very necessary. Kwa hiyo opinion yo mojumbo Kwa on record kwa opinion yo mojumbo ikine kira atokonya otherwise skill development yakoba ase ngenjo to konyo opinion ya bantu baito bato bachieta le bagoto wakilisha.
Finally Ototo tigankwa negent briefly one of the thing is nga the point that people are taking people to state house ko yamagendro, that one is not and void na ende kikeyo igando naro ko boli neke. Like for instance, let me ask you something. Chipa aranchire chia rwego chikaba allocated. Are you aware that Nyamira suffered? Because if there is, maybe there was one. Lakini Nyamira, including the leadership, were asking why then into Nyamira to that were considered. My question comes: how many leaders, including MPs and maybe the women rep, who are purporting to say that they are in government because of Amagendro? Where were they?
And they have gone to state house. By the way,
they have gone
in state house a week early. Bakaba state house a week ya itire. The following week, egendo gekatangazwe kenga.
Even did the state house.
I remember a few weeks ago, amojumbe webunge ya West Mugirango muske Steve Mugaka na tatanga ngaite parnere gochikoro kwese bunge yo. I think nanga na no you're not Mugirango muske chwash nyamoko. Then over and above that, gosekera to kwa ndegoria amagendera ya gosekero nga magero tayo state house gosimagero tayo gosengaki. Then which begs the question ngaki baliba bwate notion in quote baliba bwate notion ngaki tigatobeke for example Matiang'i itabere state house. Then what interest babwate ko kubeka state house onye kere ngamagendera daru state house. Then what interest babwate ko kumubeka ko president onye benefit ye go direct ko ruese gotware privilege gotwara umuntu ole muraibuense ko election go sukuru gesaku go sukuru.
What does it help the Rift Valley by the way?
Tigangiraneli. Ntoda etikobe ko mogusi state house. Ntoda etikobe ke president state house who is in a position kokiwa all the problems toroche. You know, Ruto talimube. But a regime ya appear to be a regime where care. Ya appear to be a regime interested in getting taxes for Korua so mwananchi. Lakini kiego kwalra teta etiebolu. Number one, healthcare. Very, very important. It's primary for mwananchi. Number two, education. I mean, for you to succeed, for you to get opportunities and other things, a qualification at least amasomo get. The other thing is toko majikochiriga in terms of development, communication, road network na bintu binde go korwe bangolende no takete environment yete ogo so giemesi ya ogo rubo maliba era ike daraja mbili egoru nendo ira ne comfortably. Lakini kwa manya konyoranga ebibionzi nke yege go koragasi oise ko ruara go so mwana arwale okogenda gwatho ngashango kole sha yanga oko ya go sokia okero ko iro mwana esukuru kwanyoranga esukuru bono despite go promise kunga amasomo na chabe bosa go sembo sale you are being told a school fees yo waka na ga go 69,000 eye be kiro waka na 53,000 waka na kwa mabata nga lende chira waka na kando ono lende echichiro kyo to ko wisiti lakini waka no. This is the regime ya tabetanga moko mbeko boraiga nayo njene bukungo be kanse na kwanse gazi. Unfortunately kende Egeikaro kana pakaliriri toraumie na those problems to gatebanga bono lende mbiche bichange. Omwananchi oli olekoro kunga mama mboga oyo olekoro kunga mtu wa boda oyo olekoro kunga mtu wa kawaida okora bintu get lera agale wakwa oteunga bono lende karakana amaswali baadaye. Those are the problems chikogera no na bananchi bago chabate anga tutagete change. Matiang'i was nowhere go scavenge for power. You can agree with me, he had a job elsewhere. Paka agatebanga nchega kigasiane na tigire kurwali mu antebiri nchego tigegasi. Ondeta you're interested ko ire gasi yo monto no nyego kore gasi rengi. Osaba.
On Ototo, I want to comment on what you are speaking about what you asked about interest kiabantu about kwera mating. I think na inde this narrative. I think enka kinerto akwantenga Gatotirie
na ndura kora gukwana ngogenda
tukukwana gatotirie notion yaringa Matiang'i taringa koenda gusavu mugusi Matiang'i no Kenya igen tonkere. I like the way umo senator umtata tabetenga I'm a senator of Kenya from Busia. Matiang'i gare if he goes there is the president of Kenya but from Usi baibat yuanga ntubwa terende bisakwebi nataka ukuboli izwaliga William Ruto ubeire a president what has it benefited more in the Rift Valley? So when William Ruto went there, it was not about Rift Valley. It was not about abantu ba Mount Kenya ba mweta chikura chingi. It is William Ruto as a Kenyan went kuriga lyo Gusii, ole Mtito Andei, ole Mandera, ole Marsabit, ole Gusii Gaiga, ole Luo Nyanza, ole Western, ole everywhere in our country. So we want Matiang'i Gakwenda, if he becomes the president, by God's will, when he becomes. Thank you for your correction. When he becomes the president, he gakomo president of Kenya, but yakuru Gusii.
Gusii in Kenya.
Gusii in Kenya. We are part of Kenya. And when we pay these taxes, we don't pay HPH taxes, Gusii, Jikarikoro kana green, Echiakoro Rift Valley, Jikoro kana blue. No. Kenyans pay taxes, and as a Kenyan president, you have no option to do services which as Keromo Kenya, including the minority super.
Which goes back to messaging.
To be very honest and sincere with you, Kenya is tribal.
Yeah.
You see, up to the level twajera no bokabira mboro na bintu na kiori gijiba achakoranga obokabira obobweito ntobo bwata soyo itugo so tobo bagete bakachare baka confirm nga obokabira mbonywere ta nenda tobo bwata bwata ni obokabira round
obokabira botometra ni boli bote goja
kingdom obo ende boisane tonyore nga kaitogo. But I want to believe nga and say is a strategy yoko win the national vote.
Yes.
There's a way or I reach out to some communities believe it on some other agenda. Engineer ko reach out. Ntoranyora the best way out, ntoranyora the best manifesto, but currently a manifesto to bwada tu atigere tu nechokoro cheito gaiga no bokabiranga abantu gete kabira gete tigesuke kando tonyoro monto aboko bakwanera bwada those numbers ekeroba achire at the national level tuama yakonyoranga from these tribal cocoons ntobwa toyo mogo sebebere torabeke motu.
Yes.
Asinga jonera asakoro abantu mbatake ku associate nehere tuama konyoranga we can get a national leader. That one should be understood. Then at the level where ikiralia, even our constitution no eba anyirike ratinga we konyo 25% of the counties. Half of those counties rendo manyego heta inja aligereti tiya tikete kolige lyo bokabira lakini ya ligereti egento gekoro ko bokabira in a professional way ekabobeka bono mocha no bokabira bwenu lakini mocha in form of county so that
mocha no bokabira website
borechi county so that it appears like king abono lende nechi county chiwo but these counties and
I think one of the things chibwanta ko chenchi was gosanye katiba gerenga kana chenchi ekine gataka mukya bwanta koligera likunga the moment you kana ngabukabira mbuyo lakini yo maiko cha koligera linga ase abantu bakorega asigatembe you know yakira at a point mondaro kani kumanyanga ki Getembe ne station yego kora emiroberi yayo sine seke Gusii lakini somebody someone ata kumanya ki ngekora Getembe ligetaba Gusiibo
no manya denga we have a commission no manya denga to bwata commission ye koligera lyo bokabira egoro ku national cohesion and integration commission
basically company mbwata banda Gusiibo
like now when you go to counties mbaruete percentage getenga koikori ke percentage gete
never the percentage there's a way that's by the way it was not part of the discussion lakini kwa yacha na mutoko je kwandra yani kogoje comment about it. There's no way ora tebenga abantu mbale ba apply ire gasi abaterwe yamo abantu kuru number 1 mpaka 100 ba perform mbuya pibanyora excellent nabantu kurwe kabira yamo for example omaigwe eliminate kurwanga ki nonya mwaba oiro muntu kadi namba 300 ngauka bakuruga namba 1 mpaka 100 batamba
in the national integration as NCIC nebo the provision ya regional representation and nationally there is that element of equity and of course fair representation so ekingo cha keregiacha we cannot have a president from one region so to speak one of the region we cannot have one president from a region a deputy chief of staff abantu ababonsi ipi it will appear to be nga egenteke gerigereti ensema yamo nona magenda rayo karako felt osako ba discussed bintu mbiri koroka na bire buye that of course then to the national assembly it will appear to be advocating for that lakini national assembly being national assembly yaito ere bunere ebwate majority na bantu bande they'll always go with that mindset into to arosia serikali into to goja korali which is quite unfortunate but then is something to konya go build on over time paka tonyo ro morai
iyo yarenga sa by the way to ende gento kwa kwaneka to jakitangani 30 seconds
30 seconds. Ntagetenda ira na sobo kabira uri twarenga kidogo regionalism. Are you aware that the narrative being played about Ngangeninga ikentukiria high cousins kiari katika shago? Are you aware that people are now doing it tuma thing and go with the Nilotes and Bantus? Are you aware now it is becoming more of a Bantus against the Nilotes? Whatever on the Rift Valley and the Luo Nyanza. People have started that narrative and those are some of the strategies.
That one is advanced tribalism. It is not even
graduate.
That is a graduation. We recommend that. Eventually there will be national.
That
appeal is good. Because if you are a Bantu, Mondonaro Tamanyadenga, Moluya, Moikoyo, these are Bantu. No Kamba, no Mogusi. So lende igongonya kusukatole. That unity, if we able to unite maybe 6 tribes, Tobaroke Bantu, we are closer to that.
And if you come to I think if you come to say about the numbers of Bantus, then they take the majority. 30 seconds 9. Umuraiweze when he was campaigning, he used the strategy unangora tebanga mino na bera atoke muri batano. Lakini there is a defining thing. Umonda go jamina le batenga ki. Oma eto isa kuri ya banta ba mwamu onyolenga baraba barabu andi baraba aba mwamu. Abanta ba mwamu mu chaire. Yani namura bana abo pibende yemu. Lakini agantunga ondo yao tanga aba mwamu aba enjera tokorokana ntulibia. Yo yani muntu barusirio. The same way the president came with a strategy yago jana mamba mboga na hustler and maybe board akaranga abantu bana abangi ngakyuko barusana ni egere you own them. Just like now when you talk about the Bantu which you have said is an advanced tribalism. Then that one maybe can now separate. Kumbe we are one people. Then we can come and maybe fight with the Nilotes. Yes.
Tatikana na ayo karotwa chake discussion then singwa kwa na igoro ya casualties.
Yes.
Vis-a-vis beneficiaries ndoma itugo se barengo balende casualties mbara barabuna butokura nyara ko batokoligera litangani as per the statement nyanya ko wachiko bwato kwa kurwesa baraibali abange bambaro ndorekanete bako rutira mangana baraibali bakorekana ko ege message ya serikali to kuchaka no mugavana we county ya Kisii Municipal Mbarati omujumbo nyali bali chache omujumbo kitu chache no ti omujumbo South Mugirango omujumbo Machoge chache
abauda
ne mbabro kante bako na mo umadrebwe county ya Kisii gocha casualties abale internal and external bale within and bale siko. Let me begin from within. Within Matiang'i team we had immediate casualties abajumbe babere. We had Mojumbo Bonchali, Charles Onjoke, no Mojumbo Babasi, which tells you again take no waime, ko ichoko rokananga torasa mwananchi ogo, you'll get it rough. Ego tia Matiang'i na bokotikana na.
Ego tukwanza toko tikana na yaro. Matiang'i oko rusio. So what happened in Bonchali, for example? I think Matiang'i is still the consumer of intel.
Yeah.
He got some intel in Bonchali. It's quite tricky. Ground ya kerebobe. Toa mojumbe ibaga kuane mapema igo. Pime ground ya keskize ground yo manya kwa mwali baga. Then it began so well. Adanga. Komi nyokatore bogirango. Mwale uanja principles boka bakuane. It was granted.
Yes.
Towards the end. Abantu keterende bakamachikorogana bale so pressed badaye kokwana including the member of parliament. Unfortunately, I don't know whether it was by design or by default, Matiang'i said ororende kitoko genda bogirango ngotigando mujumbo ino Charles Onjoka bakwanere. And then hell broke loose. You know what happened? That was casualty number 1. Number 2 was Bobasi. Bobasi naro politics being local, I think yalikuwa amepangiwa. There was an aspirant Shangili Etwere. Omochokoro got it. You know a ground Garokana who appreciate.
He was number 2 in the previous election.
Yes. So Lendo Mochokoro Garokano picked the crowd, and these area member of parliament akanyore biranye binyarrego so then back to the drawing board. That was internal. And of course there were other internal wrangles na bintu binde byarenge. Of course if you were smart enough you could even organize a ground kia watu ogerero na bintu binde.
Maybe munabona kitu cha north namba ya rakante nyingi sana abantu bali ba anga abantu batano igabali kero monta
bali batayete ko boli kero kogenda siko. We have the two governors. Not quite intense buna Kisii. Nyamira it was a little bit lukewarm, not much ya sogata lakini missing in action ya governor Nyaribo meant a lot, communicated a lot. And not getting any apology from the principals goseko matianginga lende nyarebe I think it sent a messaging oyo bwebacheire omokutano hoyo na bananchi mbayigoza komwabera. So lende is another casualty oyo oja ko dealt with moving forward. Number 2, Kisii County. Governor, I think governor ya Kisii. Number 1, obo nogalibwa ebo kagenda. Number 2, ground kia Rigiji went person agatebanga ngwantebe tinga iganse ino. Ntekene kia mamomi county ya mamomi utadu and they came indeed. So akarokana ga konyole biranya every time and again. Akarokia agenda to some extreme. Abananchi baka pick that. You know, it could go into some constituency paka noembo basi. Akaboli nga mwanchire governor you know one time. Abantu you know back home they said yes. You don't take it lightly. That is indeed a serious discipline. So generally ko kumanya ko nyore message yenga ondebwensi okorokano da kogenda against Matiangi you'll get it rough. Those now are losers. Who are the winners? Winners in the positioned so well. And those winners, of course, as a voluntary, all the aspirants, Bobo Jumbe,
they are winning.
On the way position to Buya Nabaganga, Mojumbo Yoko Rochi, or Nimba the chances Joko. He could be a winner somewhere. Mbuyami sitting Kuana Ragini, or yon target to take a rope. Koko nyigenda no embo ba asira banya Wilkins rendo mojo koro na balierete again it could be a winner. Then go Chobo governor for Kisii. I think the greatest one of the winners of this matchup. At some point Momo realized nga macho wojire ground one. Umonto yo bere governor kindigere so he waited paka bagaika engoma ya Kitutu chaje north and south akabolia bananchi bono again tekenjera moroje mboli ko governor ko soba senada. That was he was also trying kwerete limelight nga ninyore ka nindiera gantaka ndo chama chogwada tekona na karoku easily. So then among the winners nera kama jikorokananga utakire ko play spoiler enda nyora gantaka kama jiriko genda kako na the other side. Then of course Anthony Kibagendi he got the best reception across ebe Kisii, ebe Nyamira County, most of those constituencies. And then of course on your support on your reception ya the principals Oche Rigiji, Oche Kalonzo, all these guys they are able to resonate well na Kibagendi. So any opportunity at United I mean now the incoming government alternative government kuneko office na bara ngere kiba beyond Obojumbe buaye bwa Kitutu chache south. So then it was among the top 3 winners. I think he got you know a resounding support. It appeared as if he obeyed a uniting factor. At one point Momoima was enjoying that. Lakini wano again the Giajira Kibagendi nowhere alego kuwa no bantu batalego area. You were following. And that one made him you know
lifted
aga king geteka some place. Matian can easily send Kibagendi deliver message. Rigijila bago tumba Kibagendi deliver message. Kalonzo can do the same. That kind of wave cause attraction ya kabaire na Simba. Unfortunately bono ya achiri. Kwa Nyamira I think the member of parliament for Kitutu Masaba Ngoko did so well. Then of course the senator for Nyamira Okongo Mogen they also did baga colleague they did so well in terms of grassroots mobilization nakoba so close na Matiang'i. Then of course their careers chama jidikoro kana chiko ba bit resuscitated. Ongera came into the limelight. There are people to
Glory
Oruoba,
Millicent
Omanga, you know, bakarokana na baroba answer go check the glory and kiachire nga kitora so close. Then you realize Oruoba also she received the reception yangia. No ambo basia na roche she could be like nanja no ondega. Someone I anticipated na kagereta na pick. Of course in beyond, but that yet quite good time perhaps because of the political hegemony close to Matiangi, Omingo Magara. Omingo Magara was sacrificed. Tagwana mona sing and Jono Mogiranga, no Matiang no Mogiranga, you are big brother Motuan, space. Yeah, I think he's also a winner in his own understanding. Yes. He also did well. He was all over. Then, of course, Kemosi, our chairman, who I am going to Kabang, and Rabastamwe Kobekwa. Moving forward, Nabakoranga, Gusi, Yamachiko embrace to some degree. A Wefunja Chetenga, a chairman Jubilee, which was a big win. Then over presidential flag bearer, no in principle Mama Jikoro Kananga ya Matiangi Nero Yere and Tekembu Yard. Then of course positions, especially Kyobo Governor and some members of parliament in Biama Jikoro Kananga, if things are not done well, a change in 2027 is imminent.
So I think Dennis has done it more of how it was, but I want to quote some things the reception, and you know the under just casualties very internal, especially the two MPs. Much as we had it was an issue of Matiangi. There are some people who are within his camp na barabata yatako send a message you know gambo nchari entu watu mujumbe no ara isekambi lakini the people's favorite talimora hiyo. So people, as much as there was ground mobilization, te komo changa omuntu takete kobo mujumbo bonchari tarete tibanta batebinga ense yege kuika. This is what you do. Because he wants to send a message to the principals in the material. Iga bonchari maybe nyarebe kusema. Bono take the case of maybe Bobasi. Obiri noale. Lakini bono mocho koronaro, when he stood, people could celebrate and koleto mogokori. Lakini when the MP stood, wakamobu. That sends a message to Fred Matiangi Bobasi, and maybe the person you can be able to send Igaro Mungwano. So I know in one way lazima maybe nera mocho koro, as you call him, Wilkins, nera a mobilized ground, of which it's normal in politics. And the casualty mono, I think, was the governor. Mataba jumbe maybe rigiargo kanyaribari okongonta maybe Zahir oka okora na neroro tebalende bunale teba okwenda guse kitutu chache north osunyunta Jafet osuka okwenda machoge chache maybe osunyunta oyo ndenga kitoko muruga alfa meruka okire. Lakini the governor, anytime the opposition was in Kisii, the governor was talk of town. Namba ya kabiri. Before Bataraika Bosongo Waiga, Onyonka and Senator Onyonka said Gakare Keranyonga, Toko Ruambo Songo Tokocha. It was like Inga, Abantumba Babe to organize to whipped. Gocha maybe was Sariomo Kutano. You remember the incidents that happened Ali Kisii National Polytechnic. So Akabanga nero to target 90 chinkwanage. I don't know why some politicians sometimes they are very reckless. Kukwane bintu bindi. You know, he had said dinga bantu maybe tago chakusi skate stadium wita kwenda. So again kerike kabanga, it is proving the Simbarati that anaboto gocha. Just listen to what Grigiji was saying. Tuachirega si kwa mama yako hapa sijini wapi utadu nini. So ekamo discredit actually was the biggest casualty out of like a narrative. I don't know, was say yarengo mine about chigundi city barengo within Kisii and maybe elsewhere hata to interrupt mkutano magena yonsi pi akabekeru mugavana Simbarati and that narrative and after the incident ye kerenyo ngabono Matiangi the spokesperson, it was totally destroying that spokesperson boye. Correct. So that's another casualty. When you go to other places, look at the case of West Mugirango, almost Steve Mogaka was destroyed there and other places. So the whole rally, this is politics. You cannot spare your opponent. Anytime you your opponent, in fact, na bengi konyo kekero kwa nyorengiti, uma etengiti Is they kromo sonyo. Igase kwa nyore ngiti in fact what do you do? Igo kwenye sunyunta proper. So the same way that Rigiji ikairetrieve gali nene kusunyunta bajumbe bali bara sensemo yesereka anywhere it could be in their constituency. So they were casualties na bange barenge.
So we again the toka netiko manyago se toka nyeto wano kujipotunga gali kwa nyaki casualties yaba na beneficiaries yaba. Is it long term or short term? Again that's going to be a discussion for another day. Kunda sabona iga se abaiga aba very classified. Buna tabe casualties kwa sababu bainge direct targets kurwa se timu yiga umuntu yomo igende kikenya tokabage ko attract interest yanne agurukunga musikisa iri chanda muchimbe bunge yanyali bale chache uyu omusike rigati gashagwa akwanete amangana yubaka gachikwanyora imiye bunge na kote n'abajumbe bade na tibi karojita igajinga igokora kwa statement ya yenye tokabage ko be kumutunga teno mujumbe we menti David Rahim Daud igoro ya remarks ya beta media amo anomo skeli
katika no, it was a statement from
comment if and I followed he's also among the casualties but in absentia Zahir Janda I think he found himself as circumstantial victim by his way of associating himself with the president. Yani ere elevo aigete go saikire igaro chenga tago tega president imbuya he has spoken it some other places agodanga nonye moiko Ruto president roli no inche monga for him that is of course politics lakini politics of betrayal ekarota iko igunkia mangana okwanwa ground however I want to believe unga na hata meta sana mobilization ye ground lakini when it comes in a wave ya Matiang'i ya chire to this far then there's a problem. Let me confirm you ntaka number 1 opinion polling chire chi genderete within teams no government ngo korelo opinion survey ya rokanete nga at one point nyari bali charge ya majir kono korokanere bit stubborn numbers chia a percentage ya Matiang'i nere bit low as compared to other constituencies. No nya zinale Matiang'i abwa the least support yako majikorogana aka percentage ya around 5% yako rokananga ne chietense ko these other constituencies nyali bali charge. And the reason yako boli woroko joranga abangina na some young people aba sticketi na Zahir Janda so strongly up to the level ekiara abadai ngantu tam chances are very high nga ina ambe nyinge na teme ko moigwa. So oko kongondo kwaye kore informed with some data raw from the ground yakoteanga omonto yo okoboko kwaye memono na resources ijira iru emechere na binto binde could be having some impact on the ground. So the best you do engiti to ko nyaka ndonzi ko nyako motugo and the best ya wa omotugo rage to ko ngaye ano moindi namba ibere tukaranga noisa inobo morai tukakwa ikero geke tari baindi oko chikorwanera no rwanira abantu baito bali ground ingaki yaikire abantu abai ground bagotanga we are standing with one of us omogusiko rugai aigwa manye korogano tagete korengereri buno da korengeri aigwe no nya barai bagochorwa ehentu agochorete no bwa the qualities lakini ndende ngiyo de kogendera buna ground ko somo gusiago teba that is the reason and this is politics some preference ona ngiti yage tu motugoro impact ya ba felt baka national assembly
tiago tebia yo Ototo you know I like the way you
no munyere ba nando kwa munyere
ona tiago tebia gento kerongelinga ki yali bali special nere town and other places nyali bali the message that was again to nyali bali ko very interest mona Matiang'i. Number 1 let me tell you if there is an MP nere kuru nyali bali kusunyunta toteba yani okwana otariko subscribe to Mr. Matiang'i. I think Zahir no yo more bad because in several times or time da kotebanga maybe Matiang'i taroche kain bono abantu bari bakorengera ringa to an extent like into tu agochorete saying you are originally saying you are not one of us but why again we are bringing ours lakini tutaita kama kwa tutaita to adapt. Are you aware that even the people who immobilized themselves they tell you nga Matiang'i nto mwanjete in fact they accept Matiang'i nto mwanjete lakini rende karato tigera Zahir nere. Lakini the point is mbanjara nitenga Fred Matiang'i nakorta kinaro. I think to correct you, I nafuatilia to mjadala uyu. I think it was a statement made by one MP. Lakini bono montoje terende kwa the first shot because igarenga a casualty in absentia. No more Skedawood and Shakir Shabir Neruma. It normally doesn't talk, but he had to talk. Mojumbo Suba North, Suba North, I think. Suba South, Mili South, eh? North. She had to speak because Suba is there regarded as minority.
Karuto katika na yuga toke nata kama comment muna a parting shot. Opo pake mwanya toka ba koleka na ali tuko lia Alhamisi. Chi tse mwenye bunge ya Isiolo South, ward ya Minchi, ward ya Frole, ne ward ya Kapras West, I think. Ibiroge byanze byanze kwa wiko neke na semeli ya UDA. Briefly sa mtujaga nae in less than a minute to kukolera.
I think I don't have a lot to say about this by-election. I say abwato uzito. There were some by-elections that were done and they attracted attention. Asa aliwisa kuligerelibu, yeah? They were that much attention in terms of their numbers and whatever. So I think for me, there was no big message sent. And even by-election, we were here live looking at what is happening. But did we have any place? Maybe it's only that it came like a news item, a by-election regarding it had no much importance. It had importance to those people who are electing their leaders, but nationally, for me, I can say in Chebwat that much attention.
Thank you, Biamono. I think you can say by-election here. From the look of things, it was a government versus UDA in the campaign. Yes. It was given a wide berth, you know, a Katiwa na united opposition then, now the incoming government. Bagata game when you know very more kwenye chiasa. You know, you have IBC more compromised. You have you know, state instruments of power among other things. You've done these things before. Mora akora any change as IBC because IBC was agitating for change, some commissioners, some other people in the office, and the way a system we koran the government go say serikali so team mono ego campaign ke kotika bantu ba go sero na vinto vinde. So it was more or less UDA versus Kenyan government campaign.
We mana hapo nataka kukolera tindi kwenda na kucheza mure twara kolera. Mwanje muligera liko kira nataka kukolera sema ya Egeikaro njini ngoro kwa ni Ototo nyangiri niko twalenge na RS Sam yenda na boyko Dennis Orioki head of state commendation oika muna bago chibata baba gusia otangangyo kande oika goseli tukolia achimapiri singa kitranya kwa tokero na tukumenanda sensa meiga Egeikaro gadro kutwara boligari buja mya Getembe TV konga kema musi oigo chinsanya chigo ika amangana maya yeke onga chinsanya senchira yobo ikirana.